why are we here? We're here to talk about LinkedIn. Well, now what is Collab Careers? Why are we listening to Collab Careers? Why are you listening to me? Collab Careers is designed for the aspiring professional. Anyone from a manager to a leader person who wants to be a leader, an up and coming person in their career who wants to keep their career going. That's what we're all about. Your career is what pays your bills. It's what keeps you going. In some ways, it also keeps us sane. It gives us something to do productive in society. Our careers take up a large portion of our time. So we believe at Collab Careers, you need to make that count. And that's what we're here for. This series of LinkedIn Lives has been about the basics of career management. We focused around our career go bag, the basic things you need to have in place to be prepared when the best or the worst or anything happens in your careers. If you want to move forward, you have to be prepared. That's what we're here to talk about. Again, my name is Jason Mutzfeld. I am the head coach here at Collab Careers. Joining me today is Emily Graham. Emily is with DNS Executive Career Management, which is the sister company and parent company of Collab Careers. They focus more on the C-suite. Emily is our LinkedIn guru. She is the person who makes our LinkedIn work and teaches about how to understand how to make your LinkedIn work for you. That's what we're all about here. And Emily, I'm going to turn it over to you. Please introduce yourself. Let everyone know about LinkedIn. Tell us about it.
Thanks, Jason. As Jason said, I am an executive resume writer with DNS. I spent more than a decade of my career working in corporate recruiting, partnering with senior executives to find, recruit, hire top talent. LinkedIn was always a part of that strategy for us. And today I sort of take all of that experience and I help other people create powerful resume documents and LinkedIn profiles that help them in their job search process. We want to convert interviews. We want to help you land the roles that you're targeting in your job search. If you've worked with us here, our paths have crossed. If you work with us in the future, they will, because as Jason said, I touch all of our LinkedIn projects. Our team does a really great job of optimizing profiles. It can be a really important part of your job search. And what I have found, it's often overlooked or underutilized. I think today we'll be talking about how to optimize that. We want to make sure, as Jason said, it's working for you. For anybody that's tuned in, we've got some people chiming in. Say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're at. Tell us what your questions are. We'll be watching that as we go through this, and we'll hope to engage with all of you as we go. I'm curious, though, how many people actually utilize LinkedIn? Have you gone in and done the updates? Have you tried to optimize? Have you used it in your job search? Because I find a lot of people don't really. It's sort of an afterthought. And when people find themselves in a position where they are searching for a career, we go resume. That's the first thing that we come to. And it makes sense because it is the first step. But then the topic of LinkedIn, when that comes up, we get a lot of questions and people want to know, is LinkedIn really important, right? Can I just copy and paste my resume? Can I just, throw some content out there? It's not really a big deal. And we've seen a lot of people do that. And I think what we're talking about today is the fact that it ends up being a big missed opportunity. And so when you look at the job search process as a whole, like 80% of jobs are found through networking. And so LinkedIn can not only help you tap into that wider network, connect with people you may not see every day or work with every day, but it also helps you find and get in front of the right people that help make decisions about the roles that you're interviewing for, help you get those interviews. And so there's a lot of value in leveraging this. And so, Jason, I'll toss it back to you to sort of add to that importance and why this is our focus today.
Exactly. The LinkedIn it's a valuable career tool that you cannot overlook. One thing I forgot to mention in the chat, if you see Carmen Poff is the client success director. Say that fast 5 times at DNS Executive Career Management and Collab Careers. If you have any questions, reach out to Carmen. Get connected with Carmen. She is our front person who can get you going. LinkedIn, it's a free website. It is your digital presence. It is that thing about you when somebody Googles your name, you want your LinkedIn profile to be up top because you wanted them to see those essential things about you, what you can do, what you've done, what you want to do. Those important pieces are in your resume. But 9 times out of 10, if I hear that we're going to have an interview with somebody, I may or may not see the resume. I will, however, jump in Google or DuckDuckGo,
Mhm.
put in the person's name with the word LinkedIn. I will see that LinkedIn. If you have a sparse, underutilized, tumbleweed sort of LinkedIn, that's not good. It shows you're not really paying attention. The career go bag concept that we launched here at Collab Careers, and I'm going to share a quick banner about the media asset with that. That is a little QR code that's going to pop up on your screen here real quick. The QR code right here. Scan that with your phone, and that will take you to our career go bag checklist. And on that checklist, you will find LinkedIn is right there, because it is important to have that document locked in as much as it is your resume. People skim all the time. They would rather skim on their phone, and if they're not going to open up a PDF or Word document on their phone, that's not easy. A LinkedIn profile, however, in your email address, that's very easy to get a hold of. So it's a free digital resource that Microsoft puts out there. Now, being a social network, we know the free part is that Microsoft gets you sell you ads, and then they get to sort of, direct people your data. That's fine, though. This is a very mutual beneficial relationship here. So we highly recommend you take the time to make your LinkedIn be that salesperson that's on 24/7, 365 for you. Somebody wants to know about you, please send me your resume. That takes too long. LinkedIn is right there right now. So, well, Emily, let's talk about the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and take this away. Tell me about what are the basics of the LinkedIn profile. Most people sign up for LinkedIn. They put in their email address. That's about as far as they go.
Yeah.
So break it down for us.
So when we write a resume or when we write a LinkedIn project for somebody, we really are looking at every single section. We'll go out and see what you have. And in most cases, people have not really utilized a lot of the fields that are available. Think of this as sort of an expanded resume. You have a lot more space. You can tell your story. You can really demonstrate your value. There's a lot of key sections in here that we'll dive into a little bit deeper as we work through it. But essentially what you're able to do is create that personal brand for yourself. When somebody goes out and does exactly what you said, Jason, they Google you or they have a paper version of your resume, they're going to type in that LinkedIn profile and they kind of want to see what you're doing out there. And so if we talk about that, I'll just walk through some of the initial fields. So your headline, it's going to grab attention. If you're a marketer, if you're familiar with marketing, you know the value of a headline. If your headline doesn't stand out and grab someone's attention, they're not going to click. And so that same theory applies here in LinkedIn. So as a recruiter, when I go out and I'm looking for, let's just say, a marketing leader or anybody in my marketing organization, I'm going to run a search in LinkedIn. And what happens is I get a list of names and I can see your headline. And who do you think I'm going to click on? Do I want to click on the person that just has marketing leader or marketing manager of ABC company? No, right? I want to pick something that I think is going to get me the biggest bang for my buck, right? I'm trying to make the most of my time. And so I'm going to click on something that says driving revenue and growth through strategic marketing or growth focused marketing strategist, right? Connecting brands to customers. We want to talk about your value. And so these are the ways that we can move out of that task oriented title world and into what do you really do? And so you can see just that title alone has the ability to pull people in. Those clicks get you more views. That's the first step. I mean, that's what gets you the interview. The next piece of that, you've got an opportunity to add a photo, add a banner at the top. These are really pieces of your brand as well. We recommend that you swap these out, especially your photo. Professional headshots are great. If you can't do a professional headshot, have somebody take one as professional as you can get, and swap these out, right? Every year or two, we want to make sure that it looks like you and people can see you filling the role that you're wanting to fill and see you as a part of their company. And so you want to be approachable, right? Professional, polished, all of that. and your banner and your photo kind of tie into that and help to continue selling that story of who you are. Go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you totally. The photo, we don't realize that we have a professional photo.
Yes.
We can take a very high quality photo. Look up the portrait mode. And I'm not talking about portrait orientation. I'm talking about the portrait mode on your Android or iPhone. We'll blur the background. It'll take a very crisp photo. It'll even walk you through how it's there's a little line that tells you if it's straight or not. Just stand up straight, get a good background, take a picture. It is better than using a profile picture that you carved out of Facebook from 10 years ago.
Yes. And that's what we see all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you grab whatever's convenient. And so
Yeah.
we do have to put that little bit of extra effort into it sometimes.
Yeah,
But
LinkedIn should never be an afterthought. It should always be something we do strategic.
Absolutely. So another section that we see people not always take advantage of is that featured section. So you can add 3 to 5 links that showcase what you've done. Sometimes there are articles that have been written about projects that you've worked on or something going on in your company. Maybe it's, sharing something you've written. Maybe it's putting together a brief PowerPoint presentation that lets you highlight some of the things that you've done. But you can get creative there and show a little bit more of what you bring to the table. The other piece I want to note is the URL. You have an ability to customize your URL.
Now we should stop real quick. URL, Uniform Resource Locator. It's your web address. I say that as the IT person in the room.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and that confuses people sometimes. Yeah.
At the top of your resume, your LinkedIn profile should be included right next to your phone, right next to your email address. And so you want it to be something that's easy for people to recognize. A lot of times they throw in generic letters and numbers at the end, and it makes it really difficult for somebody to type it in. So make it some version of your name and kind of customize that. And again, utilize that.
Yeah. One of the most amazing things you'll ever find is when you type in your name, you go, it's always linkedin.com/in/your name and that string of 6 or 7 digits and numbers. You take that off of there, you might find there's somebody who's the exact same name as you. So you throw in your middle initial. They have the exact same middle initial as you. Sometimes they're even in the same town. And that, if you live in Chicago, New York, London, that can throw things off. So finding a URL that fits you, it also tends to it tickles the algorithm and says, hey, I'm actually paying attention here. Yeah. So put me to the top of the list. And it rewards that activity. I'm surprised it's not something that's when you've first set up a LinkedIn profile, it walks through all the things you need to do. I'm surprised it doesn't make you do that, but it's very easy to do. There's a little pencil off to the top right that says change your URL. You can also Google or search for how do I change my LinkedIn address. It'll tell you. There's a LinkedIn article that's always right at the top of the search engine results. Do that change. It's a really easy win.
Exactly. Exactly. So next would be the summary. I don't know if you want to talk about how you guys approach a summary for a client.
Well, a summary, now this is frequently what we do when I write a resume. I write the summary in such a way that it will actually also somewhat function as your LinkedIn summary section as well. They're written for the reader. They are audience centric. This is something that tells who's ever reading it that, let's face it, we're all very busy. Too long didn't read is a phrase for a reason. The summary is a very quick boom, boom, boom. These are 3 things you need to know. Those 3 things I focus on is number 1, I start with the unique value proposition. The headline is great. Most people want to see it written out in more of a sentence form, and that's where I always start. The UVP formula I use is one that I learned a long time ago studying LinkedIn, which is I do X for Y resulting in Z. So I always start with I am a blank that known for blank doing blank. That's always the first sentence. The middle sentence of this sandwich is a little bit more detailed. So I sometimes put in if you are known for a particular vertical, if you have experience, if you're sometimes things like even being bilingual, if you have a doctorate, things like that. That middle sentence has some things you might want to know about the person. That third sentence is always how you deal with people. because we don't do anything without people, because life is a group project. Nobody liked group projects in school. Guess what? School was actually teaching you life is a group project, and we can't do it without working with other people. So we talk about leadership and teamwork in that third sentence. It's a very short sentence. And then in LinkedIn, those sentences, resume speak is different. There's always the first person pronoun removed. For LinkedIn, it has to be written so it's more personal, first person. It doesn't always, don't ever write 3 sentences. I do this, I. Nobody likes I sentences. Put some thought into it. This is why engaging a writer makes so much difference in your branding, because we have the ability to speak in a way that can tell that story. Because this is a story ultimately about you. That's what the summary is. And then, of course, we sometimes include keywords, important things about education. Anything I'm missing there, Emily?
No, I think that's exactly it. And I love that you touched on the fact that this is your story. This is your value. This is what you bring to the table. And this is where a resume writer can really help differentiate you from everybody else and also position you for that job that you want. And that's really the lens that you want to look through when you're writing a lot of these things. And it's helpful to do. And a lot of what you shared carries through the experience section. Yeah. This is where a lot of people think, oh, it's just a resume. I can just copy and paste, or I can just list my titles and my dates. And there's a lot that goes on in this section. So you can link, you want to make sure that you're linked to the company pages. If the company has a LinkedIn page, you'll know that you are because their logo will populate. That's a great way to just expand your network without even trying, because all these people that are connected to their page are now second and third pieces of your network. And so there's a lot of value in that. You can tell your story here using those I statements. Like you said, change it up a bit so it's not always I. But this is where you talk about what was happening at the company when I joined. What was I tasked with doing? What makes me different than every other whatever title you have. And it just gives people a little flavor of what you've done, what you bring to the table. I always recommend with a resume and with LinkedIn, the last 10 years, you want to make sure that you've detailed out. Those are the most relevant to what you want to do next. They're the things an employer is going to be most focused on. Depending on, right, we all have a weird break sometimes at 10 years, so it might make sense to go a little bit further. But what I often do is tell people, condense your earlier experience, and you might just do a title, company name, and dates. That's fine. But making sure that you've got your achievements in there. Again, we're not just focused on tasks. We're talking about what have you done to bring value, to really change what was going on in your department. What processes did you change? What projects did you work on? You know, what were the things that you did that were different?
And doing it this way always is, you'll learn as you spend time on LinkedIn, which we highly encourage that you do. Become very familiar with spending time on LinkedIn, especially whether you're job seeking. If you just want to grow professionally, spend time on LinkedIn. There's news. There's even games to keep your attention, for pity's sakes. Spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn, it's like brushing your teeth. It's just good for you. So do it. But yeah, honestly, so few people put the effort into LinkedIn. When people do put the effort into LinkedIn, it shines. It really helps you shine through. A couple other things. Banner image? That's something that a lot of people just put the standard banner image. I've instructed people. Sometimes I had one client that was very into gardening, and her vertical was very green. It was literally topsoil and loam and the actual dirt under her feet. That was the vertical she wanted to work in. And she had a 3-acre garden, and it was a beautiful garden. I'm like, make that your banner image. For pity's sakes, people will look at that and go, what's with the garden? You might have you'll have that conversation, that human to human connection, which is what networking ultimately is. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on banner images?
I love when somebody customizes something. And so Canva, right? There's a lot of opportunities out there to just grab a pre-built template and plug and play with some of your information. When you work with a resume writer, a lot of times you are building out and defining what your value is. Those are things that you can utilize here to highlight your expertise, the things that differentiate you. And again, it's that snapshot.
Yeah.
It's like people spend, when they read a resume, they spend less than 6 seconds. It's the same with a profile on LinkedIn. They're opening it up, and this is a quick way to sort of sell yourself right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's marketing 101. I mean, you are telling a story about yourself that might be interesting to somebody. And now,
Exactly.
if it's not interesting, they'll move on.
Exactly.
But for example, I live in Indianapolis. If I had IndyCar on my banner image, it's not currently, but if I had it, it would say something about me. It would say I'm either into IndyCar or I live in Indianapolis, which is
Yes.
a case for both in both cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much that you're telling a story just by the choices you make, because at the end of the day, our career is the sum of all of our choices that we've made,
Right.
what good or bad, throughout our career, that have
Exactly.
led us to where we are today. So yeah,
Exactly.
it speaks about that. Let's see. We've talked about headline photo, featured sections. Let's talk about some of the add-on sections. Of course, education.
Yeah.
Education is important. Whether you attended college, whether you completed a degree, have just certifications like that. What are your thoughts on these little add-in sections?
Yeah, so I definitely think populating those is good. I think you said it before. The algorithm likes to see you populating as many fields as you can. Plus, it works from an SEO standpoint. And so as people are searching for things, you've got more keywords in there. So definitely hit your education. If you have certifications and licensing, put that in there. There's a section you can add courses. So for those random trainings that you take at work or through a local university, plug those in.
Courses you've taught too.
Yes, absolutely. Anything that you've done. There's areas where you can put in your volunteer work. You can put in organizations that you have memberships with. And again, a lot of times the sections will let you connect to their pages. So again, you're continuing to grow your network without really trying. And then also the big piece of this maybe is the skills section. From an SEO standpoint, populate it. You've got 100 slots that you can use. And I tell people, get strategic. You don't have to fill all 100, but think about the most important things that directly position you for those jobs that you want and make sure those are populated. You can even add your top 5 in your summary section. And again, it gives them a little bit of flavor for these are my signature strengths. These are the things that I do well.
Yeah, and that's very important if you're using LinkedIn as a job board.
Yeah.
Excuse me, or looking at recruiters. When you apply for a job and you have LinkedIn Pro, it will tell you right off the bat, you match. They're looking for these 5 things, and you only match 2 of them. Go back,
That's how they
add
match.
those skills to your LinkedIn if you need them,
Yes.
so that you match all 5.
And you can tweak that, right? If you've got a job posting you're looking at, go in and play with it and customize a little bit. But definitely make sure you've looked at that. And I feel like too, maybe we should talk about the open to work.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions out there, right? And I think a lot of people get sort of a bad taste where they think, should I really put this out there? I say utilize it. You can set it up so that you can not broadcast it to the world. And so when you go, yes, when you go into the settings, you can pick 5 roles, and they're LinkedIn populated roles. So choose the things that are most aligned to your job search. You can put in your location. You can put in open only to recruiters viewing it. And really what that means is any recruiter that is using LinkedIn's recruiting platform, they'll be able to see this. So they'll know if you're looking right now, where you're located, what types of roles you're targeting. And I believe, again, that sort of ranks you in their algorithm. So you're going to come up in the search results a little bit higher than others. And the other piece of it, those roles that you're choosing, you're going to start getting emails. And so when a company posts a role that matches, you're going to get a notification that this company posted this position, which lets you jump on that if it's something that you're interested in. And so it's easy to kind of let that work in the background. It's not a faucet that you turn on and recruiters just start knocking on your door, but these are the things that you want to at least turn on so that you're showing up in the top of the search results and people have that information versus getting lost, 6 or 7 pages into the results.
Yeah. And some companies now you can follow the jobs that they
Yeah.
have. There's a new button that you click it and it says when
Mhm.
anything comes up at XYZ Corporation, tell me
Yeah.
about it so I can be first in line. Excuse me. Let's talk real quick. We're getting close on time here.
Yeah.
God, what else? What have we missed? I'm trying to
Let's
think.
do the privacy settings, because I think
Privacy
that's
settings, yeah.
so a lot of people are concerned about making updates in LinkedIn because they're afraid it's just going to blast a message to their network that like I've changed jobs, or it's going to throw up some red flag that like, oh, she's looking, we need to watch, she's not engaged anymore. You can actually go in and set your profile to kind of lock it down. And so if you go up into the top corner, the top right corner of your LinkedIn, underneath your photo, you'll see a settings and privacy option.
Yeah.
When you open that page, there's a visibility there on the left. And when you scroll down to the bottom, there is a toggle button. And so do you want to share updates with your network or not? Just toggle it off. And then you can go in and make updates anytime you want to. Doesn't matter what it is. Nobody will be notified.
Yeah.
The only way they're going to notice is if they go in and they were there last week and saw that the content changed.
Yeah. But you know what? Any good boss should encourage their people to be on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Let's be honest, that this is a professional network and you will connect with your vendors, your partners,
your clients.
This is your personal calling card to the world. It is a digital presence that says this is who I am.
Yeah, it's a business card. Right?
Yeah, it is a business card. Exactly. Yeah. That is the best way to look at it. Well, we're just about at time. One last thing I wanted to mention, messaging. There's a messaging feature here in LinkedIn. You will start getting spam on LinkedIn, but you will also get connections. And we didn't really talk about endorsements. You can get endorsements from other people that are just like letters of reference.
Yes.
Reach out, connect to your old people that you've known and connect with them and say, would you give me an endorsement for the work I did at XYZ Corp? It's a great bonus. Emily, other thoughts, last thoughts?
No, I think we've touched on everything. I think just essentially that idea that LinkedIn is there for you. Utilize it. It can really help to accelerate your job search.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. It is a portfolio of everything that you've done. It is a resume plus in a lot of ways. So,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Emily, thank you for joining me today and talking about this. This is a very broad, diverse topic. Reach out to both of us. Connect with us on LinkedIn. We will be back in 2 weeks with a brand new topic to discuss. But reach out to Carmen at Collab Careers. I'm going to share that QR code one last time here. We're going to go a minute or so over. That's okay. We're a minute or so late. But please, by all means, reach out to Collab Careers, reach out to Carmen, reach out to myself, connect with Emily. I love to meet new people. And this is what LinkedIn's all about, making new connections. So everyone, we will see you hopefully in about 2 weeks. And everyone have a great holiday. And again, Emily, one last time, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.